Hey guys, Hybrid here, and today I'm talking about the big theory regarding Ultron Age, or sorry, Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. I almost said Ultron Age of Avengers. Um, it basically what it is it involves Justin Hammer, and I think it's really interesting because it's true. Justin Hammer didn't die, and all we saw him was like taken away by cops. But if we know anything about big corporate people, they have really expensive, well, like, learning trained whatever lawyers that can practically get him out of anything. So it's very possible he's up and about doing stuff, and it's even more highly possible that he has a much more personal vendetta against Tony Stark and by association the Avengers. Now, a reason why this really rings a bell to me, or not rings a bell, but really connects with me personally after I heard this, was because Joss Whedon said he's making a much more personal film. Now, the only way you can really make a much more personal film, like the threat be more personal, etc., is if you've had a previous experience with it, which means you would already know them personally, so them attacking you would be a personal threat. Also, if Justin Hammer were to attack Tony Stark, especially after Tony has quit being Iron Man, that would be a personal attack, not like the thing with Whiplash slash Ivan Vanko, where that was just a corporate thing. He just wanted to have the better thing, on the market than Tony Stark. He didn't actually want to kill Tony Stark. He had nothing, super personal against Tony Stark. It was just all business. While in Avengers 2, it would be personal. And, maybe business on the side, but mostly personal. So that really clicks with what Joss Whedon was saying. Now, also, to make something like Ultron, I doubt Tony Stark, being the perfectionist he is, considering he has already made thousands, or not thousands, hundreds, it seems, or nearly, he's made a lot of armors. It's very hard for me to believe that he would mess up. Even, on the code, it makes me hard to believe he would mess up on that. Especially because most likely he just copies and pastes the same Jarvis AI into every Iron Man suit. Which brings me to thinking about Iron Man 2. Ivan Vanko made tons of drones, very similar and capable of fighting against Iron Man armors. Like, sure, they got destroyed by Iron Man, but they're still capable of being a threat to him. Now, also, Justin Hammer and his company worked on the not Iron Patriot. They worked on the War Machine armor. With that being said, they most likely had to have some sort of software on the Iron Man armor and had to have some hardware, specs to actually work on it, because you can't just put like a machine gun on there, connect it in the USB port, and there you go. You have to install software. You gotta do code so certain things, activate certain features. It's very complex. So that makes me remember, or not remember, but think that maybe Hammer uses, the previous history working on the first War Machine armor, the data from the Ivan Vanko drones, drones. Basically, he could use all that and bring it together. Now, we also saw that every Iron Man suit seems to have a Jarvis AI in it, and it's entirely possible there was one inside the, the data he has on the first War Machine armor, the Mark II Iron Man armor. And with that, being said, basically, it's not a complete version, obviously. Like I said, he'd be piecing together specs from, the Ivan Vanko stuff and the Mark II Iron Man armor he worked on to make War Machine. So, we possibly have a corrupt Jarvis file, and that could become Ultron. And considering the fact that I doubt Tony Stark would ever believe Jarvis, would turn against him, it's very possible that this corrupt Jarvis AI could hack into Tony Stark's files, get more data, and improve himself. So we could start off with like the original Ultron model, which is kind of crappy because it's made out of hammer tech. But then, he does stuff like he hacks into the Stark files, gets pieces of Iron Man armors, or at least he gets how to make them, kind of thing, like the files on the production of the Iron Man armors, makes himself the Ultron armor we all know and love, and goes out to cause havoc. Now, with that being said, Justin Hammer has been promoted somewhat, much more than it used to be by the Marvel Animation. Now, a lot of people will agree with me when Marvel Animation and when DC Comics Animation, when they push a certain thing, which they usually don't push, they usually mean something for their other merchandise like films and etc. So they're pushing the Super Adaptoid. It's very possible that because Justin Hammer, you would think he would just target Tony Stark, but in the Avengers Assemble episode, if I remember correctly, he directly targeted the whole Avengers team. And also, like we saw the Hulk TV show Agents of Smash, the Collector appeared. The Collector never really appeared in anything else Marvel animation-wise or TV-wise before it was revealed he's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you see what I'm going at here, and also the Guardians of the Galaxy started appearing on animated TV shows once the movie was announced. So as you can see, it's a big marketing thing where they're going to put it in their TV shows so you already kind of know about it and you're kind of interested in it to a degree, and then they're like, oh, it's in the movie, so you want to go see it. Like, I bet you after the whole Justin Hammer thing fails, he's going to make an Ultron thing, and that's going to happen in Avengers Assemble. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to end up happening on the show just because, they're going to put Ultron in something to make him more prominent in the minds of people, even though Age of Ultron just happened, but for, the animated show for the kids, etc. So yeah, that's another reason I think Justin Hammer could be involved. Also, Sam Rockwell seemed very enthusiastic about coming back. And the last actor that seemed very enthusiastic about coming back was the guy that played Arnim Zola. And about a week later, he was confirmed to be rejoining the cast. So it's very possible. Also, like I said, it's supposed to be a much more personal film. Justin Hammer coming back with a personal vendetta against Tony Stark, personally wants to kill Tony Stark, and I guess by association the rest of the Avengers. It'd be a much more personal film. It'd be very interesting, I must add. Also, I would really dig this. I like it. It make it much more unique because, there's already no Hank Pym, so I'd rather them do this route. Because, honestly, the whole Tony Stark thing, if Tony Stark's really giving up being Iron Man, it wouldn't make sense for him to, want to do this. And also, he could feel responsible for Justin Hammer because he didn't make sure his stuff was out of his reach, so to speak, and he didn't make sure that the whole stuff with War Machine was taken care of beforehand. And also, yeah, it's just, I think it's a good idea. Whoever originally came up with this idea, clap to you, because for all we know, you might be right. And if he is right, well, awesome, and I hope to hear you guys' thoughts about this theory. Comment below, subscribe, traditional stuff, I guess, that I always say at the end of videos. And my next few videos probably going to be the rest of my screenplays. I'm going to continue that on. I have a Justice League film planned, then Justice League 2 film planned. And I'm probably not going to go much more past after that, just because writing each screenplay takes a lot of time, or writing each story takes a lot of time. And on top of that, obviously, it's starting to become school time. On top of school, work, and just, it's a lot. So I'm going to obviously still try, because I'm not going to, push, my viewership aside, because that'd be rude, and, that'd basically be a slap to your face. Like, I asked you guys to subscribe, and you do, because you want to see more content from me, so I'm not just going to forget that. So if I do not make videos for a few days, that is why, but trust me, I'll try not going at least, or at the most 2 days without making a video. So this is Hybrid, and I'll see you guys later.